Did you know the IRS can revoke your passport if you have seriously delinquent tax debt? I'm Andrew Bosserman. I'm a tax attorney and founder of Boss Tax Law. And in this video, I'm going to quickly explain when the IRS can revoke or choose to deny your passport application due to tax debt. So the IRS has the power by recommending to the State Department to revoke your current passport or deny a passport application if you have what's known as seriously delinquent tax debt. And a seriously delinquent tax debt is a tax debt that's, first of all, more than $62,000. And that number is for 2024, and it's also indexed for inflation. But for 2024, if you have tax debt that is more than $62,000 and that you're personally liable for, so that means it's your individual income taxes or potentially some business taxes that you're personally liable for, such as the trust fund recovery penalty or other business taxes that you yourself are personally liable for. So if you have a business that's separate and you're not liable for those taxes, those won't affect this. But if you have tax debt of more than $62,000 that you're personally liable for, and the IRS has filed a lien against your property regarding the debt, then they can also certify that debt as seriously delinquent and potentially revoke your passport, or you wouldn't be able to renew or get a passport. However, even if you have debt that meets those three requirements, there are certain situations where the IRS won't certify your passport to the State Department. And pretty much the way to think about this is that the IRS must have sort of exhausted all remedies, but it's still delinquent debt that there's no resolution for. So, for example, if you're in an installment agreement to pay off the debt, then the IRS won't certify it or revoke your passport. Or if you're currently working on an offer in compromise or have an offer in compromise accepted, they won't certify your passport. Or if you are challenging the debt through a CDP hearing, that's a collection due process hearing, you don't have to worry about your passport being certified then. Or if you're considered currently not collectible, meaning you just can't afford to pay any of your tax debt currently, then you don't have to worry about that at all. Same as if you're currently in a disaster area, like North Carolina currently is due to Hurricane Helene, or you're in bankruptcy. There's a number of other exceptions, but the main thing to keep in mind is that if you have a tax debt that you're personally liable for that's more than $62,000 and the IRS has filed a lien, then the IRS can potentially tell the State Department to revoke your passport if you're not in some sort of payment arrangement or working on getting the debt resolved, or there isn't another extenuating circumstance. So the key takeaway is that if you have tax debt that could be considered seriously delinquent, you need to contact a tax professional as soon as possible so that they can work with the IRS to get you in some sort of payment arrangement so that your passport doesn't get revoked or denied. If you currently need your passport to travel for a job or you have upcoming important travel, there are ways to speed up the process, but you're still going to need to get, contact the IRS, potentially get a tax professional involved to prevent the IRS from considering it seriously delinquent. If the IRS does certify your tax debt as seriously delinquent, then you will receive a letter in the mail, and it generally gives you about 30 days to respond before the State Department is officially notified to revoke your passport. So don't let it get to that point, but even if it does, then you still have 30 days to try to work things out. But the best course of action is that if you have any tax debt out there, it's best to start working to get it resolved, whether that's through a payment arrangement, an offer in compromise, considering not collectible, or somehow challenging the underlying balance because you don't owe it. But This is just a quick overview. Obviously, I didn't go into all exceptions, but if you have any questions about how to keep your passport from being revoked, feel free to reach out to me and I'd be happy to help.